Hello and welcome back to the channel. Nice to see you again. Today we're on our third part of this massive aquarium build. So I'm building a DIY wooden aquarium. We've done a couple of episodes before this, building the frame, the stand, getting all the prep work done, but today is waterproofing. So for this project I am using, for the waterproofing stage, liquid rubber products. Full disclosure, I am working with liquid rubber. They have sent me these products as part of a collaboration. But as those of you who are long-time viewers will know, my previous experience building tanks, I've also used liquid rubber, and we've talked about it in live streams and previous videos. I really like this product. I think it will do good. I've never used these specific ones, so we're going to be learning about these together. But we've got the liquid rubber multi-purpose primer, of which I've already done one coat. We've got the geotextile, which we used in the last one, and neopond sealant, which is going to be the top coat effectively. So I've applied one coat of the multi-purpose primer. I'm waiting for that to get tacky, which it kind of is, and then I'm going to go around for a second coat with the geotextile, laying that into all the corners, all the gaps, all the cracks, anywhere a bit of wood meets another bit of wood. We're going to get the geotext stuff on there with the primer, and then when that all dries, we're going to get the neopond sealant on. So this is a sealant. Last time I think I just used the regular liquid rubber waterproof sealant. This is one specifically designed for aquatic use, so no fears about any issues with fish compatibility or anything like that. Want to get this on fairly quickly after the primer dries, so it's just a case of methodically going through it all. I'm just going to be using a regular paintbrush. The primer went on really easily for the first coat. It wasn't what I was expecting from a primer. It's quite thin and kind of like a PVA coat when you're doing plastering and that kind of thing. But it's just meant to help the adhesion to whether it's wood, concrete, whatever it is. That'll just improve that. So let's see if it does the job. We'll go on with cutting up some geotextile and spilling it all over myself. So that's the primer coat done. Everything completely dry, and it is properly on there. Yeah, it's like I can't even pick that off. So it dries to this really hard finish, and yeah, I'm not getting that off without even with a knife. So we did a couple of coats of that, obviously doing the geotextile there according to the instructions. But this is the first bit that slightly confused me, because this says here that it typically cures within 48 hours. But the data sheet for this stuff, when you look at it online, says apply the top coat as soon as possible after it dries. It's already very, very, very dry. It was dry last night, really, but what we've done is gone somewhere in the middle where I applied this yesterday afternoon, let it dry overnight, and I'm going to do the top coat now. So I've split it right down the middle. So it's gone on pretty well. Quite happy with it. It's slightly different to the last version that I used. So this stuff is grey, which dries to black. The last stuff I used was brown, which dried to black. But yeah, it goes on just as well. I'm using a paintbrush rather than a roller. I just preferred it last time, and I'm doing it again this time. It's fairly easy. It goes on pretty well. It asks for 3 to 4 hours between coats, but I think because this room is so hot, 2 hours is perfectly dry. I've left it another hour, so just to make sure I'm following the instructions. But we're aiming for, according to the data sheet, 3 to 4 coats. So I'm at least going to do that, if not more, because like I said in previous videos, I only want to do this once. My intention is this will become ultimately a planted tank. So once I've completed all the water tests and stuff, once got glass in, get it filled, test filled everything, I want to plant it up. So there'll be lots of aquatic soil, plants, decorations. It will not be as easy to get back in there and fix any leaks afterwards, so I want to make sure this is done as well as possible. So unlike Megatank 1, which is this one here, the fish that were destined for this were always going to be ones that wouldn't have plants in there anyway, so it's just sand. So when I had problems with this tank, which again, I don't think were to do with liquid rubber, they were to do with my inept building skills, all I had to do was drain it down, shovel out everything. Easy. That just won't be the case. That won't be a possibility in the new tank. So I want to make sure it's watertight from day one. And who wouldn't? Right, that is the recommended 3 to 4 coats applied. I've won with 4 coats in the end. We did 3 yesterday and 1 today. The recommendation is that you leave it 4 to 5 days to fully cure, which I'm fine with because I've only just ordered the glass and I think that's going to take at least that long before that gets here. So we're kind of stuck just waiting, which is fine. We can let that happen. Just to make it perfectly clear, you'll notice there's no bracing front to back on the top here. That's only because I haven't got the glass yet. As soon as I get the glass in, I am going to add front to back bracing. Everyone seemed to be very concerned in that in the last couple of videos. But in terms of the liquid rubber, it's gone on really well. It was really easy to apply. I used a brush. You could have probably used a roller just as easily. I didn't. The old liquid rubber that I used on old Megatank, I didn't get on very well with a roller with that, whereas this seemed to be a lot easier to apply with the brush, so maybe it would have been easier with the roller as well. But coverage wise, just over one of the tubs. So I've got the 1 gallon 3.78 litre bucket here. I could probably have squeezed 4 coats out of this if I hadn't been quite so liberal with it, but we went just over that. And obviously I have done the outside and the top and things like that as well, so maybe your mileage may vary. If I'd only gone for 3 coats, easily got that done in 1 bucket. But I'm fairly happy with that. It's already dry in most places. There's a few bits that are still going off, and it doesn't have that, when it's dry, it doesn't have that stickiness that it had with the old stuff that I used, so hopefully this will be much better. I'm limiting my liquid rubber usage to the tank area, where I will have more tanks underneath in this middle section. Let's show you the middle section. You'll remember from previous videos, the plan is to have tanks here as well. I could use that for liquid rubber, which would protect the wood from spills and stuff, but it's effectively a stand, and I wouldn't normally use liquid rubber on a stand. So I am thinking about possibly one day trialling like a backy shower system, where you have like a box that runs the entire length of this that you filter stuff through, and again liquid rubber would be good to use for that. So I'm going to keep it for future projects for that, and just get some kind of paint or something to do the rest of it down here. I have debated on whether or not to do plywood lining to finish the aquarium and make it look nice and stuff. I even thought about connecting it to the roof so as you just had a nice, but I'm kind of liking the rustic look. I'm fine with that, but I do want to paint it all up, which will protect the wood a little bit better. So we'll go on with that next while we wait for the glass and see how we get on with that. So as you can see, we've gone around and painted the rest of it. I've just used standard paint for the rest of the cabinetry. Obviously liquid rubber for the bit that's going to hold the aquariums, and I've done the rest of it as well, and moved another aquarium in here. We've had a bit of a boo-boo in the glass ordering process, and what I thought was going to take 5 or 6 days, it's going to take 5 or 6 weeks, so it's going to be some time before we get the glass. My fault, I just didn't read things properly, but it means I can't progress much further than this. I think the current delivery date I've got is the 21st of March, so if I can't get it moved any further forward than that, that's going to be the day the glass arrives. So give me a couple of days to get the glass in, another week to let it cure for the silicone and everything, so we're going to be well into April before we get a test fill going on this one. So we're kind of stuck on how far we can progress this in terms of waterproofing. So that's why I've just started with the rest of it. I've moved the puffer tank back into here because it being there was just taking up a load of space and getting in the way. So I'm going to start getting the tanks moved back in. So I've got this one in, I'll get the small ones in over there, and we'll just get that tidied up, get some of the boxes moved back in. And it's just, I'm taking the positive from this is I get extra time to let the liquid rubber cure. And the more that I see this, the more happy I am with it. I think it was the right decision to go with the liquid rubber. It was definitely so easy to apply. It's you literally just paint it on. I know lots of people were giving me other options of, oh, why don't you fiberglass it and go with gel coats, and why don't you use this, get a tanked pond liner, get this, that and the other. Look, all good ideas. I think this one deserves its place as a good idea as well. It's easy to do. I know it's going to be safe for the fish because we've used it before. It's specifically for aquatic life. It's meant to be really durable. I've had this one over here for I've immediately forgotten how long. Either 2 or 3 years. I'll put it up here, however long it's been. But there's been no problems with that over the years. I know of other people that have used these products have lasted for years as well. When I've had questions, they've been really quick to reply. The support seems really good with it. So overall, very happy with this. I am, touching wood obviously, convinced this will hold water without problem. But come back in the next video, or maybe a couple of videos from now, to make sure that that's the case. But I'm really happy with this. I think it's going to be the business. I'm really happy with the look of everything, to be honest. I've got some goodies that have arrived and are arriving soon. So in the next video we might talk through some of the equipment that we'll be using on the tank. But for now, thank you very much for joining me. Sorry we couldn't get all the way to get the glass in. I did consider using AI to project some glass, but that would be daft. We'll see you in the next one. Hope you have a wonderfully fishy time. I don't know. Bye.